There were a couple things I wanted to talk about. Um, Rodney Harrison on the post game was talking about Brandon Ayuk, and he said, "quote I love John Lynch, but you don't do that. You don't criticize a guy you drafted that high in the media. You bring him in and you let him know that you still believe in him, and you're going to get him the ball." How do you feel about that? I mean, we've talked about this repeatedly. It seems like,
What do you mean get him the ball? The quarterback has to throw it. He's been
yeah,
out there the second most number of snaps besides Debo Samuel. At some point or another, stop letting Brandon Ayuk just off the hook. He made that boneheaded play with, the punt return. He, took an end around and got upended. Like, it's not like Brandon Ayuk has been a world beater, okay? Like, let's not pretend like he's just been the best. He definitely hasn't been. So
no,
we can't let him off the hook. At some point, if you need the coach to scheme you open all the time, maybe you're not that good.
that's fair. That's fair. Um, I just feel like, regardless of his play and what's going on the field, I don't like that they did that. It seems messy. It seems unnecessary. It's almost like Kyle going on Sean McVay's podcast talking about how they wanted to get Stafford and they were so close to getting Stafford or whatever the hell he said.
And
Why?
then you got to
Why do
roll in
you
the quarterback room with Jimmy.
exactly? And then you drive to the facility in an hour and see the guy who you just talked about wanting to replace you coming this close to replacing. The writing's on the wall. I understand that Jimmy knows Trey Lance is there, but one thing I thought was very interesting, Matt, is that these commentators, Chris Collinsworth, Al Michaels, most of the stuff they say is what's relayed to them from the team. And we heard it tonight. Chris Collinsworth say, well, they drafted Trey Lance, but Jimmy Garoppolo is under the belief that if he plays well enough, he could still start again next season. I'm terrified thinking that this might have come from somebody in the team
It came
relaying
from
this
Jimmy.
information. You think it came from
It
Jimmy?
came from Jimmy. Nobody else is saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even
It's
Stewart with his, the locker room's broken because they see Trey has more upside than Jimmy, and Kyle keeps forcing him out there. Kyle's a coward, dude. I feel like Kyle's a coward with his team. And I feel like that George Kittle and Trent Williams and some of the older vets, Kyle Juszczyk, people like that, are on the Jimmy Garoppolo train because they played with him over the years and they're loyal. And Kyle has to balance between the younger guys who are sitting there frustrated that Jimmy can't get them the ball, mainly Ayuk and Debo, and balance that with George Kittle, who's the locker room leader. And Trey's more raw, right? On a game to game basis, maybe Trey makes more mistakes, but he definitely has more upside. And I think that Kyle needs to pull the trigger, plain and simple, plain and simple.
what is left to lose?
Right. I
Nothing.
mean, you're in last place in the NFC West right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Last place in the toughest division of football.
Right.
There's no shot at winning the division.
Nope.
Let's get that out there. You have about a 5% chance of even sneaking into the playoffs walking backwards.
Not even that, dude. Like, I mean, think about it. Like I said, they're gonna lose to Arizona and the Rams.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. The only chance is if Trey gets in there. And that's not even like a likely, it's just we don't know. So possibly, maybe we saw what he did against the Cardinals, which was impressive. However, it's still more likely than not they lose, and they
Yeah.
lose badly, like we
And
saw
this
tonight.
is this is funny from 4-9 Bloodline. Jimmy gives us the best chance to win, and I know it's sarcastic, but at the same time, it's like, win what? You might get to a wild card with Jimmy, and then what?
Yeah.
You need to get Trey Lance ready to play. So getting him game action is going to be very beneficial, and you got to try to work out some of those bad habits, and you got to try to
Yep.
mold him.
Yep, I agree. Some of these comments, Ace Bruh says Trey would have had a better game in this weather, 11 on 11 football.
Not only running the ball, but I feel like passing the ball because he can throw. I knew as soon as the weather was going to be rainy, I'm like, Jimmy's going to play like dog shit because he cannot throw that ball when it's wet. It's too heavy for his noodle arm.
It's true though. I mean, it's unfortunate, but it's true. We saw Wentz. He was able to move the ball in the wind and the
Yep.
rain because he's got a stronger arm.
He's got a stronger arm. Yep.
And Jimmy did not have that. I mean, that play, the last interception he had, that was such a duck. That was such a duck. I mean, it was flopping all in the air. It's like, Oh my
Yep.
God. This is your best throw. This is to
And the
win the
whole
game.
purpose of having the gloves is so that doesn't happen. So Jimmy Two Gloves is throwing up wobbling ducks there, and it's just like, what are you doing? And again, it's not like Trey Lance is going to learn sitting on the sidelines. So get him in the game. He needs this seasoning to be able to be ready to go for 2022. When you can get Jimmy's stupid contract off your books, when the salary cap goes back up post COVID, when you can start bringing in complementary talent on both sides of the ball to supplement the roster and the talent that you have. This season is a wash. You're not winning the Super Bowl. So if you're, I mean, listen, we've all watched Talladega Nights, right? If you're not first, you're last. Who cares? I don't care about making the wild card round if it means that Trey Lance is going to be pushed back another year. I don't care. I'd rather not make the playoffs with Trey at this point than make a wild card with Jimmy and have him throw another wild card where he has like 14 passes, right? Like who cares? Who
Yeah.
cares?